A lot of dating coaches make paid videos that teach you how to prevent flaking, but I've never seen an educational video that teaches you how to deal with flaking. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to get a girl to go out on a date with you after she's flaked on you. In other words, I'm going to show you how to get a woman to go out with you after she's stood you up or canceled your date at the last minute with a bullshit reason or didn't reply to your text message in a timely manner. Okay, before we begin, I'd like to point out that there are red pill and black pill so-called dating coaches that say women are bad and 100% at fault for flaking on you. They're saying that women are bad and have no accountability these days. They're implying that men are 100% good all of the time. They're doing this to stroke your ego, because this will make you feel good, but you might be surprised to find that thinking women are bad will negatively affect your game. I mean, why do you want to go after something that's bad, right? However, facts are facts. Both young women and men flake on people. Young people are flaky, that's just how they are. I invite you to take an honest look at yourself as a young person. I remember when I was a young man, I stood up two girls. I had a date with a hot blonde Brazilian molecular biologist to see this movie together. I scheduled our date for after finals. I was going to take a quick cat nap after finals and then go on our date. However, I overslept the alarm, so I stood her up. You'd think I learned from that experience, right? No, like a dumbass, I scheduled yet another date with a sexy Japanese Brazilian after finals again. And if you guessed that I stood her up too, yes, I certainly did. She called me afterwards and asked me why. I don't know what came over me, but I told her I stood her up because she had a wrinkly face that reminded me of my mother. She was only 5 years older than me. This made her cry and I hung up on her. Look, yes, women are bad, but men can be just as bad. After you suddenly realize that, you may be surprised to find that those stupid red pill and black pill videos were poisoning your mind by negatively affecting your inner game. If you want to date hot younger ladies, we need to stop watching those videos. Anyways, enough about red pills and black pills. Let's get to the topic at hand. How to deal with flaking. There are two ways to deal with flaking. First is prevention. And if you fail to prevent it, then I'm going to show you how to deal with flaking after you've been flaked on. The best way to prevent flaking is to get girls to invest in you. In other words, you want the girl to do something for you. Now, this is counterintuitive, especially for guys who are self-denying closet simps. Logically, you think that if you do nice things for a girl, she'll reciprocate and fall in love with you, right? Wrong. If you're searching YouTube for dating videos, you've probably already came to the conclusion that simping doesn't work. Women are horrible at choosing their own mates. They purposely friend-zone the nice guy and end up with the assholes. Now, this is not a red pill video, because men are just as bad at choosing their own mates. Men will marry a pretty face with a nice rack, then a couple years later find themselves waking up next to a monster. Why the hell do you think people have been getting arranged marriages for thousands of years? Why do you think that love marriages have a divorce rate of 50 to 80%, while arranged marriages have a divorce rate of 5 to 10%? But anyways, I digress. In order to prevent flaking, you have to get the girls to do things for you. Start with little things at the beginning and then graduate to big things. For example, when I'm doing pickup, one of my favorite openers is to ask women for advice or help. Sometimes I ask girls for advice on which gift to buy a female friend. Another favorite opener is for me to ask for directions. Then, when I'm in set, sometimes I ask a girl to hold something for me. For example, I'll ask a girl to hold my phone so that she'll get a better look at a YouTube video I'm showing her. Other times I'll wear a 3D printed gold-colored dinosaur skull ring. The girl will say, "Cool, that's a cool ring." I'll reply, "I've got an extra one. I can give that to you." Then I'll fumble through my coat pocket and pull out a pair of sunglasses, hand it to her and say, "Here, hold on to this while I search my pocket for the ring." Also, when I'm out on a date with a girl, when she asks me to watch her purse while she goes to the bathroom, I'll answer no. I'll pause for her to give me a quizzical look, then I'll say, "I'll only watch your purse if you'll pinky swear you're going to wash your hands afterwards." Then I'll laugh a bit because it's supposed to be a joke, not a hygiene criticism. Another favorite ploy of mine is to get a girl to lose a stupid bet. Then the cost of losing the bet is to cook for me. Start with something small like an omelet or ramen noodles. Now, a word of warning, by the time you've gotten the girl to cook a 5-course meal for you, she's probably already your wife, or she's pressuring you to marry her. In college, I had this smart little Vietnamese girl take notes for me and tutor me. I had this busty brunette find bugs on my computer programs, while a tall Chinese girl with never-ending legs cooked for me. Enough examples, you get the picture. Girls don't fall in love with you because you're a nice guy that does shit for them. Girls fall in love with guys they've invested in. They've put too much into the relationship. They don't want to lose their investment. Now, despite all your efforts, young girls may still flake on you. So how do you deal with a flaker after she's flaked on you? For example, I had a date scheduled with this hot 18-year-old blonde. She stood me up. Now, red-pilled so-called dating coaches will tell you, this is a red flag, you need to delete her off your phone and stop seeing her. Now, that's bullshit. Because if it's not your first rodeo, you've probably already figured out that most hot 18 to 21-year-old girls are flakes. Older women are more reliable, but even some older women will flake on you. You're just going to have to learn to deal with it. Now, how do I deal with a girl who stood me up? I went to her apartment and knocked on her door. She did not answer. I called once, no answer. Now, I did not call multiple times like a needy psycho. Then I left one text message. I guess you're not in. Call me later. Let me know you're okay. Boom, that's it. No multiple texts. She called me up a couple hours later to apologize and offer to go out with me. A simp would say yes, but I answered no. Instead, and explained that I was already doing something else, so we could no longer go on a date today. I did not get all butthurt over it like a beta bitch. I laughed it off and said, hey, no big deal. You can make it up to me by cooking me a meatloaf, because I've never eaten meatloaf. I'm curious as to what a meatloaf tastes like. She negotiated and bantered with me back and forth, and I settled for an omelet instead of a meatloaf. A couple hours later, I sent her a picture of me and 2 other girls doing that fun activity we were going to do on our date. The text message accompanying the picture said, wish you were here. This photo says that I'm a high-value male who is coveted by other females. I am not needy. And I can have fun without you. You are missing out, not me. She also can't get mad at me because I'm with 2 girls, not 1. So it's obviously not a date. Guess what? On our next scheduled date, she cooked me an omelet at her place before I took her out on our date. She did not flake on our next date. Another way that girls flake on you is to not answer your texts in a timely manner. You do not deal with this by sending many multiple texts seeking a reply. That's very needy. You also should not get butthurt over it and complain like a beta bitch. Shit happens. Deal with it. How should I deal with it, you might ask? Don't text her for at least a couple days. Give her a chance to reply. If she still doesn't reply after a couple of days, send her texts that pikes her curiosity. For example, a hot 19-year-old hairstylist and I were exchanging texts. Suddenly she goes cold and doesn't reply to my text. I waited a couple of days, then I texted her this question. Do you know what's most interesting about your haircutting technique? She immediately replied, what? Most guys would then text her back and answer, don't. Instead, call her. A voice call allows you to use a seductive tone of voice that is more persuasive than text. I then called her back, and she picked up the phone. While I had her on the phone, I flirted with her and invited her out on a date. We're going to go to a salon that charged $100 per haircut. I was going to get my haircut there, and the master hairstylist is going to answer that question. Now, for a newly minted hairstylist that only makes $10 per haircut, this is an absolutely irresistible proposition. I was benefiting her, but I was not being a simp, because I was not doing anything for her, nor giving her anything. I was only getting my haircut at a salon. While driving with my date to the salon, I explained to her that I will be flirting with the hairstylist to get her to like me, so that she'd teach you how to cut hair in a way that is worth $100 per haircut. I'm going to tell the hairstylist that you are my daughter. While at the salon, I flirted with the master hairstylist and invited her out on a date. She agreed, and we exchanged phone numbers. I buttered her up, and then she explained every hair cutting technique that I was using to cut my hair. By doing this, I showed that I was a high-value male that other women find attractive. I am the prize, not her. Alright, So now you know how to deal with girls that flake on you. If you still have questions, feel free to type them below. Good luck and have fun out there.